Psychic Overdrive. So far it's in the beta stages. I've been working on it for like a good 2 months. Missing a few cards here and there, but so far it's been winning duels, so therefore I decided to make this deck list in case you guys are interested in making a Psychic type deck as well. It's not very popular these days, but hell, it's been working for me, so it might work for you. Give it a shot. I'm going to start ranking off the monsters now. I'm going to start off with the level 1s. Dr. Cranium. Very nice to have in defense. Pay 800 life points, bring a Psychic type monster to your hand. It's not bad. It's very good. I would just run one, really. I wouldn't run two since it brings it to your hand. In the new TCG pack, Absolute Power Force, there will be Psychic Panda. That'll replace Dr. Cranium completely because it'll bring actual monster to your field instead of the hand. And basically, that's what we want our Psychic types. Mind Master, of course. It's limited to 1 now. That's pretty wild for a Psychic type. It's very useful with emergency teleport. It's a tuner, of course. You can tribute a Psychic type monster in the field to bring out a level 4 lower one for just a measly 800 life points, I believe. Very good if you want to get rid of a Psychic commander or something that just can't do the job done for you. Level 2s. Psychic Jumper. Built-in creature swap ability. Not that bad. You can use this to creature swap one of your useless Psychic type monsters for one of your opponent's stronger monsters. Usually, I'd use it when someone has synchro summon something strong, like Red Dragon Archfiend, maybe a Stardust, and basically just get a stronger monster while giving them a weaker Psychic type. 2 Krebons. Very useful. Level 2. Best card to use other than Psychic Commander with emergency teleport. I run 2. It negates attacks. Honestly, very useful. Now on to the level 3s. Psychic Commander. Very useful, very nice. Has a lot of neat battle tricks. Level 3 tuner. Arguably one of the best other than Gale the Whirlwind now. Very useful. You can use this with a lot of the monsters I'm going to be talking about later. Like Psychic Emperor and such for an instant Hyper Psychic Blaster. Which is one of the best synchro monsters in the Psychic TCG right now. Honestly, I run 2. I wouldn't put more than 3. It could clog up a hand. You don't want to do that. Mind Protector, the core defense of the deck. Very useful. Basically, it makes it so only your Psychic type monsters can attack. 2200 defense, level 3, not bad. Makes synchro summoning easier too. You just have to pay the mandatory life point to keep it on the stage. On to level 4s now. Honestly, Psychic Snail, very useful to use. Its effect does it all. It gets to attack twice for a measly life point page. That's not bad. Very useful to have. Power Injector. I only run 1 for the simple fact that it's very situational. I wouldn't recommend using more than 1. Really, if you have just this one monster in the field, it wouldn't really be helpful. What you want to do is you want to pump up your other Psychic type monsters so they can stay on the field and you could synchro summon, etc. Make things easier for you. Honestly, people would rather run MST or Heavy Storm. Destructotron is a nice little, doppelganger. It's very nice to have, although very bad to play by itself. It gets destroyed at the end phase if it's the only Psychic type. Grapple Bockler for its attack. Well, its effect, moreover. Its defense is 2000. Not bad. It can stop one of your opponent's monsters from attacking as long as it's face up. Very useful for those strong synchros, especially Red Dragon Archfiend, or maybe even one of those Black Wings that could totally screw you over. Genetic Woman for those removed from play Psychic types. God forbid you're playing a remove from play deck. That can be very, very annoying. So I'd play Genetic Woman for sure. Unless you have Overdrive Teleporter, which is much better. Level 6. Two Psychic Emperors. TCG exclusive. Very useful for a Psychic deck. You gain 500 as soon as it's summoned for every single Psychic type monster in the graveyard. This, by far, is one of the best Psychic type monsters thus far in the game. Totally recommend it. I would not change them for anything. Level 6, with an emergency teleport or by normal summoning Psychic Commander, instant Hyper Psychic Blaster. Very nice. Armored Axon Kicker. If you inflict battle damage to difference you take damage in because of its effect, you can use to special summon a Psychic type from the graveyard. Basically helping you swarm the opponent just in case you're in trouble. Very useful. The only non-Psychic thus far in this deck, other than those Synchro monsters in the extra deck. Prime Material Dragon is one of the best cards thus far, to me, in the game. It has a little standby Stardust effect. Discard one card, prevent a card from being destroyed. Also, if you take any damage, not battle damage, but any life point damage, like burn damage and such, you gain it instead of losing, which is very useful in this deck. Very useful card. And finally, Gig, Master Gig. Very useful Psychic type. Although it requires 2 sacrifices, I wouldn't recommend playing it in a Psychic deck, but I do. For the simple fact of its effect. Pay 1,000 to destroy monsters. Corresponding as many Psychic types as you have on the field. Traps. 2 compulsory. Very helpful against people who's trying to speed synchro summoning, like assault decks and such. Get those nasty synchro monsters out of the way. Call it a haunted. Solemn Wishes. Of course, every time you draw 500. The Psychic deck is a gamble, so yeah, this is recommended. I'd rather play 2, but at the moment only have 2. Telepathic Power. Very useful for when your Psychic gets destroyed. You destroy the face-up monster that destroyed it through battle and gain life point corresponding to the attack. Very nice trap card to have. Mind over Matter. Basically the solemn judgment of the Psychic deck. Tribute a Psychic type, negate anything. Counter trap, spell speed 3. Nice. Psychic Overload. By far one of the best cards to have in this deck. I sadly only have 1. I would recommend playing 2. Very nice. 3 Psychic types in the graveyard. Put them back in the deck. Draw 2 cards. Beautiful. Psychic Trigger. Watered down version of Psychic Overload. 2 Psychic types in the graveyard. Remove them from play. This is where Genetic Woman comes in handy. Just in case they're not playing a remove from play deck. Draw 2 cards. Rival Warlords. A lot of metagame decks right now have very different types of monsters. Except for, of course, the Black Wings, which keeps them all Winged Beast. And most likely the Lightsworn, which focuses on Warrior and Beast types. Choose, Psychic. They have to choose their type. They can't play face-up monsters unless it's the corresponding type. This includes Synchro Summoning. It puts that to a terrible slowdown. Very useful. Telekinetic Power Well, for its effect. Extremely useful. Makes Synchro Summoning easier. Also makes Swarming easier. 2 Brain Research Labs. Very beautiful. Instead of paying the actual cost, you can decide to give it a brain counter. Brain Control. Lightning Vortex for those Pexy face-ups. Psychic Sword. The difference you have in life points between you and your opponent, you can equip to the monster. Gains that attack. Extremely useful. Emergency Provisions for when they play that MST or that ridiculously strong Heavy Storm. Bam. Gain life points. Your own Heavy Storm, just in case. And Emergency Teleport. by far one of the best Magic cards thus far in the metagame. Very highly recommended in any deck that's trying to synchro summon. And of course, it's a staple in the Psychic deck. Can't have a Psychic deck without this. On to Synchros. Hyper Psychic Blaster. Very nice to have. Stardust Dragon. Of course, most decks have this. Red Dragon Archfiend for those pesky defense. Psychic Life Transfer. Black Rose. And Magical Android. Well, there you go, YouTube. That's my Psychic deck. Leave comments below. Let me know what you think. This is ZeroOmega. Peace out.
Cameraman's going to your team. Bye bye.